Good morning, all of you. Good morning, all of you. So, welcome you all in this platform, and today we'll discuss the set 4. आज हम set 4 discuss करिबा. And from last 3 days, हमें economics रा different topics discuss करूचु with the help of previous year question. So today also we'll do that, and we'll see different aspects of the syllabus of yours. और स्पेसिफिकली आम चेष्टा करिबा प्रिलिम्स रो सब टॉपिक्स गुडा जो गुडा ऑलरेडी प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर रे आसी ची विल कवर दैट. ओके, सो लेट्स बिगिन. एंड बिफोर आई स्टार्ट डिस्कसिंग विथ यू, लेट मी गिव यू ब्रीफ आइडिया. जस्ट अ सेकंड. Brief idea about the biggest Diwali sale. Prelims and mains जदि आपण comprehensively prepare करिबा पई चाहउचंती, so we have a special offer for you for the foundation batch. Both UPSC and OPSC रो syllabus को completely cover करा जिवो, and to get that discount you can use this code JN Live. Okay, you can use this code JN Live so that you will get the maximum discount with that. Okay, so again let me tell you, wish you all the happy and prosperous Diwali. So let's begin the discussion. Today we'll going to discuss this money, inflation and monetary policy. It's a significant topic, and we'll discuss through with the help of those previous year question paper कौन पचरा जाई अछि, and कौन we can expect questions from this topic, and we'll discuss in detail. The first question on the basis or the topic is inflation. Now, inflation is a significant topic, and you can expect question every year. मुझे आपको गोटे जिनस कही रखे, जदि आम प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन को एनालिसिस करिबा, you will find there are certain topics, जो टॉपिक्स गुडारू डेफिनेटली दे आर आस्किंग क्वेश्चन. जमती मु जदि पॉलिटी स्पेसिफिक जदि कहिबी, when we have taken sessions before your prelims, आपण देखिबे मु बारंबार प्रति सेशन रे कहिछि आर्टिकल्स गुडा इंपोर्टेंट as far as polity point of view. आर्टिकल्स गुडा इंपोर्टेंट. इफ यू सी द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर जोटा कि अक्टोबर 15 रे हेतला, you will find they have asked multiple questions on article. Article रो पचरा जाई अछि, constitutional article. Article is a favorite area. Second मु आपण को कहितली the sources of constitution. को sources रू we have borrowed the constitutions or different provisions of the constitution. सेथरु मध्ये क्वेश्चन आसीतला. सेभली भाबरे इकोनॉमी जदि आमे देखिबा, इन्फ्लेशन, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी इज अ सिग्निफिकेंट टॉपिक. से माने पचरे परंती इन्फ्लेशन टाइप्स रू क्वेश्चन, से माने पचरे परंती आरबीआई रो मेजर्स विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू कंट्रोलिंग इन्फ्लेशन. सो ऑल सच dimensions they can ask. Someone definitely पचरिबे, कारण these are the core areas. These are the areas आपण डेली किछि ना किछि या ऊपर न्यूज देखि परिबे न्यूज़पेपर या करंट अफेयर्स रे. सो दीज आर हाई प्रायोरिटी एरियाज, और जहाँ को हमें हाई फोकस एरियाज बोली कहितो. सो लेट्स बिगिन दिस इन्फ्लेशन. लेट मी टेल यू, इफ इन्फ्लेशन कम्स टू आवर माइंड, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इट? यार माने कोन? A steady rise in the price level of goods and services. तर माने कोन? A steady rise in the price of goods and services. So you can say on an average there is a rise in the price of goods and services. Again, inflation results into what? आपनकर जो real income अछि that comes down. Now you can ask, what is this real income? गोटे हूँ मनी इनकम. मनी इनकम हूँ कौन? केते इनकम आपण अर्न करूचंदी इन ए मंथ. लेट्स से यू आर अर्निंग 15,000, 15,000 आपण अर्न करूचंदी. दैट इज द मनी इनकम. व्हाट इज दिस रियल इनकम? रियल इनकम इन द सेंस हाउ मच गुड्स एंड सर्विसेस you can purchase by using that 15,000 rupees. How much goods and services you can purchase kete matra re goods and services you can purchase by using that 15,000 rupees, that is your real income. तेणु goods and service रो जेतेबेले प्राइस बढ़ी बढ़ी चलिबो, obviously you will have a lesser real income. However, your nominal income remains constant. Let's assume it आपनकर विगत वर्ष या 2 वर्ष हलानी सैलरी रे इंक्रीमेंट हेइनी. However, if price level is increasing, your real income definitely come down. So this was something impacted across the sections of the society, across the income group. तेणु चलन्तु देखिबा inflation in India the recent years has been the type of question कोन पचारुची जे जो recent years रे inflation को प्रकार रो अछि या को टाइप रो inflation देखा जाउ अछि. Okay, this is a question we have borrowed from the 2006 year. तो से टाइम रे कोन इन्फ्लेशन थिला से तो से टाइम रो करंट अफेयर्स रो देखले जणा पड़ियो. जदि मु कहिबी वर्तमान रो बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग रो या वर्तमान रो जो ट्रेंड चली छी से को इन्फ्लेशन हमें सोसाइटी रे देखियो मिलु छी, इकोनॉमी रे देखियो के मिलु छी. लेट्स सी इफ यू सी द in the type of inflation which you can see in our country, basically what we call the cost push inflation. Now let me tell you that before I go to the answer, let me explain this, what is this demand pull and the cost push. Demand pull means, see, every inflation or inflation has two dimensions basically. One is the demand side, another one is the supply side. When we say demand side means what? That demand of a product is greater than supply of that product. Demand उस product की ज़्यादा है किससे? Supply से. Demand is greater than the supply, right? So supply remains constant. If demand for that product increases, definitely price will go up. And this is the simple definition of demand pull. Suppose this festival season, अभी फेस्टिवल सीजन है, मिठाई की रेट बढ़ सकती है. क्यों? क्योंकि सब लोग मिठाई खरीदने में लगे हुए. तो if price of sweets will go up, then that would be the demand pull inflation. Okay? अच्छा, क्या क्या एग्जाम्पल्स हो सकते हैं डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन के? सपोज यदि इनकम बढ़ जाती है लोगों की, इफ इनकम ऑफ पीपल इंक्रीजेस, डेफिनेटली दैट विल इंक्रीज the demand for goods and services, because with the increase in income, consumption capacity also increases. So when consumption capacity also increases, demand for goods and services increases. However, supply remains constant. Supply constant रहती है, तो price increases, and that is known as the demand pull inflation. दूसरी साइड आते हैं, दिस इज द कॉस्ट पुश. तो डिमांड जैसे मैंने बताया इनकम बढ़ने से भी हो सकती है, ठीक है. टेस्ट एंड प्रेफरेंस चेंज होने से भी हो सकती है. टेस्ट एंड प्रेफरेंस क्या है? सपोज पहले लोगों की इनकम बहुत ही कम थी, वाज अ वेरी लेस अमाउंट ऑफ इनकम, सो दे वर प्रेफरिंग मोर ऑफ स्वदेशी गुड्स. लेट्स से जो लोकल ब्रांड की गुड्स है उसको वो लोग प्रेफर कर रहे थे. बट विद द इंक्रीज इन इनकम, देयर टेस्ट एंड प्रेफरेंस चेंज्ड टुवर्ड्स द इंपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट्स. तो ज़्यादा इंपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदने लग गए. तो इंपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट्स की जब डिमांड बढ़ रही है, ऑब्वियसली द प्राइस विल गो अप. सो व्हेन द प्राइस विल गो अप, दैट इज नोन एज द डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन. लेट्स से प्रोटीन बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स, प्रोटीन बेस्ड फूड प्रोडक्ट्स बेसिकली, लेट्स से दोस मीट, मिल्क, एग, इनकम बढ़ने के साथ लोगों की प्रोटीन कंजप्शन की कैपेसिटी या बढ़ सकती है, तो उसके वजह से भी इन्फ्लेशन दिखाई पड़ती है. सो दीज आर व्हाट वी कॉल द डिमांडफुल इन्फ्लेशन. द अदर वन इज द सप्लाई साइड, और दैट इज द कॉस्ट पुश. कॉस्ट यदि कोई प्रोडक्ट की बढ़ जाती है, या कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन जिसको बोलते हैं हम लोग, वी कॉल इट कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, देन प्राइस विल गो अप. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यदि कोई रॉ मटेरियल की प्राइस बढ़ गई है, कोई रॉ मटेरियल की प्राइस बढ़ जाती है कोई एक फैक्ट्री में, तो ऑब्वियसली जो फाइनल आउटपुट होगी उसकी प्राइस भी बढ़ेगी डेफिनेटली. सपोज वहां की जो ट्रेड यूनियन है उसने डिमांड किया वेजेस को बढ़ाने के लिए, सो वेजेस इज ए सिग्निफिकेंट अमाउंट ऑफ व्हाट वी कॉल शेयर इन द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, उसके वजह से भी बढ़ सकती है. सपोज इंक्रीज इन द प्राइस ऑफ पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स, उसके वजह से भी बढ़ सकती है. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की प्राइस बढ़ गई, उसके वजह से भी बढ़ सकती है. तो इसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन, राइट. वन इज डिमांड पुल, अनदर वन इज द कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन. कॉस्ट बढ़िया फल जदि प्राइस लेवल रे बढ़ोतरी होची या बढ़ुची ताको हमें कहबा कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन. ओके, सो बेसिकली ब्रॉडली the causes behind inflation is, one is either demand pull, another one is the cost push inflation, demand and supply side. Now if we ask this question that what kind of inflation what we see in our country in these days, we can say that in these days we can see the cost push inflation because supply side challenges are there. So what is the supply side challenges? Due to let's say not exactly what you call smooth transportation facilities, let's say ये जो सप्लाई चेन गोटे कॉन्सेप्ट आपनकर सिलेबस रे अछि, मेंस रे सिलेबस रे. सो एक्जाक्टली वो सप्लाई चेन रो माने कोन? सप्लाई चेन माने होची सपोज ट्रांसपोर्टेशन जाको हम कहता हूँ फ्रॉम फार्म टू प्लेट ऑफ द कंज्यूमर. फॉर फार्म टू प्लेट ऑफ द कंज्यूमर, फार्म इन द सेंस जो फार्मर प्रोड्यूस करूची ता खेत रे टू द कंज्यूमर्स प्लेट. सो इट नीड्स व्हाट? स्मूथ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. Okay, so that is known as the supply chain. Tenu the producer purchasing the raw material from the farmer and producer by converting into the final product serving to the consumer or selling to the consumer. This is a long process. Kemiti, for example, when the producer purchasing from the farmer, that could be directly from the farmer or through the middleman. Again, if middleman is involved, middleman always keeps its own commission and that increases the price because middleman jetobale entry karibo, obviously he or she will keep the commission, the price will go up. Further, if producer is not selling directly to the consumer, if any other party is involved, let's say wholesaler, then retailer and then the consumer, obviously again that will increase the price of the product. And moreover, if you see, suppose there is a crop loss or crop damage, shortage in supply, okay, due to untimely rainfall, monsoon ठीक समय रे हैला नहीं, जेतबळे rainfall दरकार सेतबळे न होई कि अलगा टाइम रे हैला, तो that will lead to what? Crop damage or loss of this crop. Ultimately, shortage in supply, ultimately price will go up. So this is what we call recent scenario we can see in our country. Anyway, so both demand pull and cost push inflation and none of the above. If you want to answer, this is the cost push inflation what bothers a lot in our country. That is the reason we are targeting to rectify this issue of what we call the supply chain management. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Payment banks are different from other commercial banks in the following ways. Okay, so let me give you a brief background about this. Payment bank ro jo concept, it was introduced in 2015 onwards. Now, what happened with this 2015? Before this 2015, when this Raghuram Rajan was the governor of RBI, he formed a committee. And that committee was the Nachiket More Committee. Nachiket More Committee. And the committee was formed with respect to the financial inclusion, with respect to increase the banking infrastructure in our country. So what that Nachiket More or the committee recommended that since we do not have adequate infrastructure, specifically with respect to the banking we are talking about, banking infrastructure is not sufficient in our country. That is the reason many such people, they are not getting access to the banks. And that is the reason there is a low amount or low percentage of financial inclusion. Now, question is why banking infrastructures are not adequate? Because those commercial banks, or let's say large banks, they do not want to operate in the rural area, interior area. Why? Because they say higher cost. Samane kon kohuchandi? Higher operational cost. That is the reason they are not going to the rural areas to open their branches. So what this commission suggested, committee suggested, many such banks which must have a low operational cost and they can start banking operations. Then in that category, that committee suggested this payment bank. Another also small finance bank you must have seen. Small finance bank or present day commercial banks, they do not have much difference. The same kind of banking structure or banking operation. However, small finance bank means they are operating at a low cost. Okay. So what is this payment bank is all about? Payment bank, the target or the objective is to achieve financial inclusion. So why or how to do that? Payment bank were made, or what we call there are certain provisions were there with respect to payment bank. They were allowed only to accept deposits. ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କେବଳ କୁହାଗଲା କି ଆପଣ deposit to accept କରିବେ. Suppose people in the rural area, they want to deposit their money, they want to save. ଆଗରୁ କ'ଣ କରୁଥିଲେ? ଘରେ ହିଁ ପଇସା ସେଭ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ. It's a kind of hoarding. That money was not coming into the circulation into the economy. वो money circulation में नहीं आ रही थी, तो वो घर पे ही उसको रख रहे थे. So what these banks, small operational cost banks, what they are doing, ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କଲେ? They accepted only deposits. They involved in the services. For example, if ଗୋଟେ old age person ଆସୁଛି and old age person को କ'ଣ ଦରକାର? Pension ଦରକାର. सरकार दौरान पेंशन, तेणु से कौटू पेंशन टाक विड्रॉ करिवो? से बैंक रो खातारू विड्रॉ करिवो, पेमेंट बैंक रो. सपोज कोटे पर्सन को तारो प्रोजेनी और द चिल्ड्रन्स आर सेंडिंग मनी बैक टू देयर पेरेंट्स and that parent needs to withdraw the money. So कोटू को कहा हेल्प रे करिवो? This payment banks can help. So they were given such charges or this responsibility कि you just accept deposits. Second, any such financial services, let's say withdrawal of money, withdrawal of scholarship money for the students, withdrawal of pension funds for the old age. So these responsibilities were given. How can responsibilities? Suppose remittances. Remittances in the sense, suppose जो people, those who are staying abroad, जो माने let's say देशर बाहर रोचंदी, बाहर कंट्री रोचंदी, they also send what? The money to their parents, right? So these services were given. However, one thing you have to keep in your mind, like other commercial banks, they do not have permission to provide any such credit facilities. They do not have permission to issue credit cards. So this is the uniqueness of this thing. Now you can ask then, where does this profit will come? If they will not involve in the credit, they will not involve in such thing, then where does this profit will come? Profit puni kaha kouthu asibo bank ra? Profit will come from this service charges, let's say. Acha, second question है पर कि why they have not given this permission to involve in such credit facility, credit card issue and all? Because credit card facility या credit system रे जदि किसी defaulter हेले, that will be a loss, and then they will not involve in the banking business. They will simply stop it because they will be in risk for, or they will be in that risk zone. So risk को minimize करी, so that we can provide banking facilities. Sethipai this payment banks were set up to achieve the financial inclusion. So D is the answer. Accept deposit, provide payments, remittances, services, distribute third party financial products, okay, but are not allowed to lend or issue any such cards, basically the credit cards. They can issue debit cards, but not the credit cards, okay. Sure. This question is all about the monetary policy. Now, मॉनिटरी पॉलिसी जदि आमे देखिबा वर्तमान समय रे, then who decides this monetary policy? It's not neither the RBI completely nor the government completely, because गोटे confusion हुए कि RBI completely controls this monetary policy. No, it's a committee. It's a mix of RBI and the government of India. So that is known as the Monetary Policy Committee. I will come to that later, because the last year, in fact, they asked this question. So एठी प्रथम देखिबा कोन, to lower the interest rate, RBI should, if we just forget about this Monetary Policy Committee, there are certain instruments, किछु गोटे instruments अछि to control the money supply in the economy. To control the money supply in the economy. तेणु instruments, let's say your bank rate, instruments, let's say your CRR, SLR, okay, marginal standing facility, repo, reverse repo. These are what? Instruments through which money supply can be controlled. Now, before that, let me ask you, what is this money supply? Money supply is, at a point of time, what is the quantity of money available in the economy? At a point of time, what is the quantity of money available in the economy? That is known as the money supply. तेणु वर्तमान money supply जदि आमे जानिबा को चाहिबा country रे, economy रे, then you can see what exactly the money supply in the economy. Then you have to add the currency in circulation. Currency in circulation in the sense, currency with the public. Coins, notes, these are what? Currency in circulation. आपण पाखरे केते टंका अछि in hand, cash in hand जाको हमें कहितो. Along with that, you have to see, let's say, your demand deposit. Demand deposit in the sense, basically आपण कहि परिबे जो deposit which you can withdraw, or a consumer can withdraw by using that ATM or debit card. So combinedly you can say that much your money supply in the economy. Now, money supply can increase in the economy, also decrease in the economy. Money supply increase in the economy in the sense, more money is coming into the hand of the people. More money is coming to people so that they can spend more. Now, ye more money will come to the people. How? The basic functionalities and modus operandi जदि आमे देखिबा, तबे simple meaning होउची कोन ना, जेतेबेले public पाखरे अधिका पैसा आसे, केमिति आसे? Suppose you want to purchase a car. For example, you want to purchase a car and you searched for the loan, for a car loan, let's say. And car loan is something around 10%. Then you stopped your plan. You think, okay, just wait for a few another days or months, let's see. And this percentage changed, let's say, to 9%, almost 1% reduced, this loan amount or loan interest rate. Then you will feel, let's go for the car, because you have to pay a lesser amount of interest. Are you getting my point? You have to pay a lesser amount of interest. So you will go for what? You will go for purchasing the car. Suppose that interest rate increased to 11%. Then you have to pay more in terms of interest. आपनको अधिका interest दवाको पड़िबो. Definitely you will postpone your decision to purchase a car. So this is something very basic understanding with respect to money supply. Okay. So interest rate, the RBI should, to lower the interest rate. So lower interest rate in the sense, you want to increase the money supply in the economy. Then what would happen? To lower the interest rate, RBI should, there are 4 options. First one is the buy securities. Then what is the securities? Security is nothing but simply जाका मैं bond भी ही कहतो. Okay. तेणु गवर्नमेंट कौन करिवे, ये आरबीआई कौन करिवो, सिक्यूरिटीज परचेस करिबा माने कोन ना सिक्योरिटीज परचेस करिबा माने ई सिक्योरिटीज काहाटू परचेस करिबो फ्रॉम द कमर्शियल बैंक्स. When RBI purchases securities from the commercial bank, against that RBI provides what? Money to the commercial banks. When more money is coming to the commercial bank, definitely commercial bank are also involved in the credit creation. So they will give more loan to the public. So in that manner, money supply will start increasing. Are you getting my point? So to lower interest rate, RBI should buy security. This is one. Second, decrease the money supply. Lower interest rate, it does not decrease the money supply. It will increase the money supply. Okay. Raise the treasury bill rate. Again, raise the treasury bill rate in the sense you want to control. If you see, the money supply can be increased or decreased. If you want the money supply to increase, then what you have to do? You have to lower the interest rate. आपन को लोन अमाउंट को सस्ता करबा को पड़ियो. लोन अमाउंट केतेबेले सस्ता हबो जेतेबेले कमर्शियल बैंक पाखरे अधिक रो अधिक फंड रहइबो. समाने कोन करिवे लोअर रेट रे इंटरेस्ट काहा को देबे कंज्यूमर को देबे. तेणु इफ यू वांट टू इंक्रीज द मनी सप्लाई देन यू हैव टू लोअर द इंटरेस्ट. If you want to decrease the money supply, then you have to increase the rate of interest. Right? Then raise the treasury bill rate. A treasury bill kon again the kind of bond. Okay? Treasury bill rate mane kono? Then you are or RBI wants to decrease the money supply. Raise the reserve requirement. Reserve requirement kono? जेंति हमर ओटे CRR अछि आउट अछि SLR. ए CRR कोन cash reserve ratio. CRR generally means commercial banks keeps certain amount with the RBI, and if keeps certain amount or in terms of cash with the RBI, se cash amount with the RBI jetole badhibo money supply will come down, and when that CRR amount will come down, money supply will increase. Inversely related. Similarly, SLR कोण? SLR कोण? SLR होची statutory liquidity ratio in form of cash, bond, etc. Gold. The statutory liquidity होची a certain percentage of its total amount of total deposit kahara commercial banks ro it will keep itself with the commercial bank itself. तो SLR body these are legal terms. Every commercial bank has to obey it. The SLR amount बढ़िबो, there is less money supply. Again, inverse relationship. जेतबेले SLR amount कमिबो, there is more money supply. So question होची कोन? To lower the interest rate, then the RBI has to purchase what? Purchase the securities or buy the securities. Let's move to the next. Gresham's law comes into operation when? Gresham's law कौन कहूची? Gresham's law simply आपण देखिबे that bad money drives out good. Bad money and good money कौन हम कहि दउची? Bad money होची जोटा कि आपण देखिबे वर्तमान समय रे आपण देखिबे I mean Gresham law होची बहुत पुराना law. I mean very old law this is. Bad money होची the money which are created or this minted through let's say present day currency. एबे गुडार जो coins आमे देखुचे ताकू जदे में bad money बोली consider करिबा. Good money कोन? Good money होची the same kind of coin which can be manufactured or made with the help of precious metals. Precious metals कोन? Gold, silver, these are precious metals. So what generally people do? Precious metal raw internal value या precious metal internal value कोन? जदि gold and silver रे coin जदि तयारी ही तांदा तबे people will think जंदे 5 टंकार जो coin टा आसुची से 5 टंकार coin तो कदे आपण ते melt करेबे you will get more money than the face value. तेणु money रे गोटे intrinsic value था आ गोटे होची face value था. Face value is which is written on the money itself. Intrinsic value is the internal value. If you melt that what we call a coin, you will get more money than the face value. So people start hoarding those coins, जोगुड़ा की silver and gold रे तियारी होता. So generally they do not use that. So what they use? They use the present day coins, which does not have any intrinsic value. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ନ coin को दी melt करेबे, you will not find anything, or you will simply, the value is zero. Right? ତେଣୁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କୁହାଯାଉଛି ଯେ good bad money drives out good. Good money ହେଉଛି କ'ଣ? ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମେ gold silver ରେ ତିଆରି କରୁଛୁ. Bad money ହେଉଛି जो present day ର जो coins ଗୁଡ଼ା ଅଛି. ତେଣୁ the answer option ଦେଖିବେ, ତେବେ ହେଉଛି good money is hoarded. Hoarded in the sense that is used, you will keep it. You will not allow to circulate in the economy because it has more of intrinsic value, internal value. Okay. Nationalization of banks was done with the purpose of, see, this nationalization of bank, first nationalization started in 1969. Second nationalization started in 1980. Now, what was the purpose of nationalization? Let me tell you. One thing, nationalization was, what is the meaning of nationalization? Government started purchasing those banks. Those banks are known as the public sector banks or the government banks. So, joguda aguru private bank thila, they have been considered, or they were purchased by the government. Now they are considered as the government banks. Now, why government was in favor of this more of nationalization? If you see the present scenario, you can see government is more of favoring towards the privatization. Then why during that time government was more favoring towards the nationalization or the more government sectors? Because from 1950 to 1990, the public sector was dominant. This is one aspect. Second aspect is, and you can ask me, sir, why public sector was dominant? Kahinki public sector dominant thila? Because the public sector had this, or the government had this socialistic orientation. Jadio Indian economy is known as the mixed economy. However, that is socialistic oriented. Kahinki we were more influenced, or we were inspired from the USSR model, Union Soviet Socialistic Republic, जोटा कि present day रो Russia. So, sethipai government was dominant, and there were other factors as well. जेमती कि private sectors were not ready to engage in the economic activities. काहेंकि now private sector are always guided by the profit motive. Okay, but public sector is guided by the what we call the welfare motive. Then private sector was not in that position to involve in the economic activities. Then we were more relying on the public sector. This is one aspect. Second aspect, the specifically ame dekhiba nationalization banks ro objective kon thila, why we wanted to do that? Because nationalization banks ro it was there was a survey by the government. Survey thila with respect to the credit scenario. Survey, the finding of the survey was, the banks were involved in extending credit, or bank guda kon kuruthile credit to douthile, but they were not focusing on those what you call the deprived or marginal sections of the society. For example, agricultural sector. Agricultural sector को हमें देखिलु कि कम लोन दिया जाई अछि. There was a very less amount of loan which was given to the agriculture sector. Now, question is why? Because it was expected that if they would provide loan to the agricultural sector, there could be a possibility they cannot recover the loan. Because agriculture profession never been a profitable profession in our country, and it is more or less depends on the natural phenomena. Similarly, other marginal sections of the society, backward caste, SC, STs, okay, poor sections of the society. So that's why what government decided, since these banks are private banks, they are not taking any such risk. So let's nationalize them, Okay, so they should be government funded, government run, and they will involve in such kind of activities. So that is the reason why the banks were nationalized in two phases. Okay, and this 1961, which was started by the Indira Gandhi and all. Okay, let's move to the next. Just few minutes ago, I was discussing with you, Kono, na CRR and SLR, cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Cash reserve ratio, I have already told you, कि certain amount or certain percentage of the total deposit of the bank keeps with the RBI, and SLR keeps with itself. Okay. So what is the question is all about? Question is the reserve held by commercial banks over and above the statutory minimum with the RBI. Now, this CRR and SLR both are statutory backed or the law backed. It's a legal. CRR and SLR, every commercial bank has to obey, has to follow this instruction under the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, so every bank has to maintain that. Question kon achi? Question achi, if any such reserve over and above the minimum reserve is like above the SLR requirement and CRR requirement, what we call the excess reserve. This scenario is very rare, because banks always want to keep money with itself so that they can engage in the credit facilities. More and more credit they can extend to the market or to the consumer. Yes. Money supply I was discussing with you. Money supply I was discussing with you, number one. Number two, RBI has decided or segmented or divided the whole money supply into different aspects. And that division or the segmentation of that money supply, which is in the name of M1, M2, M3 and M4. Now you can ask, sir, what is the requirement to divide those things or divide this money supply? Because when RBI जेतबले money supply को control करबा को चेष्टा करे, definitely RBI को देखिबा को पड़िबो कि कोउ गोटे sector जोटे कि money supply रे गोटे significant role play करूची, या for that sector only the money supply has increased or decreased. Then we cannot use the arrow blindly. हमें अंधार रे तीर मारले किछ लाभ होबनी. We have to be very specific which sector is performing well or bad, or for which sector this money supply has increased in the economy. That is the reason they have divided the whole concept M1, M2, M3 and M4. If you see, this M1 is something what? C plus DD. What is the C plus DD? C, that is the currency in circulation. मुझे कहूथली आपन को notes, coins with the public, and then the demand deposit, that is with the bank, commercial bank. You can use your ATM and debit card, you can withdraw it. That is the, you can say, the most liquid one. So this is M1. Second, M2, that is M1 plus saving deposits with the post office saving banks. बहुत जगह रे आपण देखिबे, see, the department of post, this post offices are very old fashioned, or they have many such branches than the commercial banks. So government decided if commercial banks cannot reach to the people, or commercial banks are not ready to serve in those interior part of our country, then post offices can do that. So what government thought, let's convert the post offices into a basic functioning, a basic functionality of a bank. So what they did, they simply converted. So that is the reason M1 plus saving deposits with the post office savings bank. तो किछि लोक जेमते आपण सेविंग अकाउंट रे पैसा रखुचंती, जोटा कि हम डिमांड डिपॉजिट भी कहूछु, you can use your ATM or debit card to withdraw. Similarly, these people can also save in the post offices. So that is the reason we have included this. M3, that is M1 plus net time deposit of commercial banks. A net time deposit is nothing but simply the fixed deposit, because people also save money for a fixed period of time, fixed deposit with a fixed rate of interest. And then M4, M3 plus total deposits with the post office saving organizations excluding the national saving certificates. Total deposits means again the both saving as well as the fixed deposit. In post offices also you will find what you call the fixed deposits. Now what is this excluding national saving certificates? There are certain people who purchases this kind of financial instrument. People generally invest in those national saving certificate for a longer period of time. For just the example मैं आपको दूँगी, LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, LIC, you can't, this is not for the short term. 10 वर्ष 15 वर्ष 20 वर्ष पे हम LIC purchase करितो. So same manner like LIC, this national saving certificates also people purchase, and after a particular year they will get a certain amount. Okay, so that is also again what you call, we have to deduct that and the total deposit will be included. Now you can ask, sir, why this is deducted? Because we deduct it because this is not immediately helping in terms of increasing or decreasing the money supply. That is for the longer period, 15 to 20 years down the line. Okay. Chalo. If you see the question, then what exactly the answer? Question kon kochi? The post office savings are included in. Post office savings ko hame koti include karuche. You can see M2, okay, and M4, right? M2 and M4 we can including. So you can say that M2 and M4 are the answer. So D is the answer. Okay. This inflation जो concept हमर थिला हमें discuss करूतलु, से inflation concept को हमें कौन करचु ना inflation को measure केमती करा जाए. आगुरु inflation को measure करा जाउथला WPI रे. ये WPI कौन ना wholesale price index. ये wholesale price index कौन? Wholesale कौन ना गोटे जोटा हमें कोई था ना wholesaler, जमती जो घर पाख दुकान रो आपण जोटा किणुचंदी, that is the retailer. We are the consumer. So retailer ki na the person who is selling to you, and the retailer is again purchasing from someone who is dealing at a very large scale of amount of goods. Okay, that is the wholesaler. Wholesaler is selling to the retailer. Retailer is selling to the consumer. So WPI is what? WPI or this is also known as, let's say, if the wholesaler is itself the producer, then we can also say this is at the producer level. तो inflation को आगुरु केपली भाव रे मेजर करा जाउथला WPI रे. WPI रे मेजर करा जाउथला. अच्छा, this is known as the wholesale price index. सबु index, what is this index? Index होची गोटे statistics term. Index टा कोन? Statistics term गोटे. The statistics terms रो गोटे बेस ईयर भी थाए. बेस ईयर इन द सेंस जोटो का में कंपैरिजन ईयर बोली कहि थाउ, और जहां को में कांस्टेंट ईयर भी कहि थाउ. गोटे होची करंट ईयर, आउट होची कांस्टेंट ईयर. नाउ व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस टू? यू कैन आस्क. Difference is, suppose you want to compare, let's say the current year is, let's say 2023. You want to compare the change in the price level of any goods with respect to, let's say 2018. Okay. See, suppose 2023, the price of a product is 10 rupees. But someone will ask, what was the change in price? Change in price with respect to what? From the few previous years, let's say. Then you have to ask again, then we have to compare it first. That rate of change. केमी तमे जानिबो कि exactly केते टंका बढ़ीची या कमीची. तेणु सिर्फ गोटे कांस्टेंट ईयर सहित सब बेले कौन करा जाए? कंपेयर करा जाए. तेणु से कांस्टेंट ईयर टा होची कोन जाका में बेस ईयर बोली कहितो. तेणु बेस ईयर देखिबे आपण गोटे पर्टिकुलर ईयर को निया जाय थाए. And in a particular period of time, this base year continues, and then again that generally changed. aguru 2004-5 thila base year, now they have changed to the 11 and 12. ତେଣୁ this is WPI. Similarly ଆପଣ CPI भी ଅଛି, consumer price index. ଯେତେବେଳେ inflation producer या wholesale level ରେ measure କରାଯାଉଛି ତାକୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ producer price index or the wholesale price index ଆମେ ତାକୁ କହୁଛୁ at the producer level. But now this inflation is measured at the consumer price level or consumer price index ଯାକୁ ଆମେ କହିଥାଉ. The price at which consumer is purchasing from the, let's say, from the shop or the retailer. So now inflation is measured under this CPI, consumer price index. Okay, this is the what we call the question which is asked in last year, I mean this year prelims, jota ki October 15 exam heitila. Acha, the whole concept is what? Concept hoji kono na 2016 रे गोटे एक्ट आसिला, आरबीआई एक्ट को अमेंड करागला. से आरबीआई एक्ट को अमेंड करके आमे कोण आणले कि दिस मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमिटी आमे इंट्रोड्यूस कले. आगुरु आरबीआई ही कोन करथला, मनी सप्लाई को कंट्रोल करथला, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट करथला. वर्तमान दिस रिस्पांसिबिलिटी हैज बीन गिवन टू दिस एंड इट इंक्लूड्स व्हाट, बोथ आरबीआई एंड द गवर्नमेंट. And in that monetary policy committee or the amendment, we have decided one inflation targeting. Inflation targeting. What is this inflation targeting? There was a range of inflation. Range of inflation kono 4 plus minus 2. Okay. So this range is 2 to 6. Ya bhitare jodi inflation rahila, then it is good. Otherwise, this is something very difficult and RBI is held responsible to explain this. Second thing, every 5 years it will be changed or it will be again analyzed. Suppose 16 re hela, 16 hela pore that will continue till 21. Again 21 they again decided till 26. The range would be this much only. And again 26 re semane revise karibe whether they continue to this with this or they will again come with some new range, right? Tenu jodi dekhibe ethi this third statement is an incorrect one. Kahingi na ethi option re kon achi 6% with the tolerance band of plus minus 2%. It's not that 6, it's 4 plus minus 2. That is the reason this statement is incorrect one. Rest 2 are correct. Okay, because this is कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स रे एबे हमें कोन करूछु, इन्फ्लेशन को मेजर करूछु. नेक्स्ट, नाबार्ड. नाबार्ड होजी कोन? नाबार्ड होजी नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर बैंक ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट. नाबार्ड रा काम कोन? नाबार्ड रा काम होजी टू बेसिकली नाबार्ड रा काम होजी रूरल डेवलपमेंट. से रूरल डेवलपमेंट रे से कोन करे ना, नाबार्ड डज नॉट गिव मनी डायरेक्टली टू द कंज्यूमर्स or to the people. They do not deal with consumers or people. What it does, it simply provides this what you call financial institutions, and financial institutions provide money to the consumer. For example, यदि आपण कहि परिबे कि नाबार्ड जेमती रीजनल रूरल बैंक, जेमती कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, these are banks which deal with the customers or consumers, farmers. Okay, so नाबार्ड कौन करिवो, रीजनल रूरल बैंक ये कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स को पैसा दबो, and then these institutions will deal with the consumers. NABARD never involved in this credit such facilities directly with the consumers. If you see the option, then option is this: providing refinance to lending institutions in the rural areas. Rural areas रे जो बैंक गुड़िक ऑपरेट करूछंदी या फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस गुड़िक ऑपरेट करूछंदी सेमानंको प्रोवाइड करिवो किए लोन, नाबार्ड, and then they will provide to the consumer. Okay, so that's it from my side in this discussion. Money supply, banking and inflation we discussed, and let me tell you one thing, we'll come with another set of video with another topic, and please do watch it, subscribe our channel, and like it and share it with your friends so that everyone can be benefited. Okay, you can join the course of this prelims and mains as I have told you with the Diwali discount. Okay, so till then, all the best and happy Diwali to you and your family. Thank you.